Hello and Happy New Year. Welcome back, folks. I am back in my kitchen, ready for a great year of delicious meal kits and recipes. Thank you for joining me. So this week we have a pineapple fried rice. So this is a really kind of quick put together meal, except for the rice. So the rice doesn't take very long to cook. So why are we not using like a minute rice or something like that? A minute rice is going to be really, really mushy in this. So we want to start this kit using regular long grain rice. But a trick to quick cook the rice is to cook it like we would cook pasta, like cook it in a lot of water. And so the white rice is only going to take about 15-ish minutes, and then the brown rice is going to take about 20 minutes to cook. So you can do that ahead of time. Traditionally speaking, fried rice is made with like leftover rice that's been kind of like sitting, and even cold is best. That's the best fried rice because it's like it's cooked and then it's cold and then it's cooked again. But I don't know about you, I don't always have leftover rice in my fridge. So we're gonna do this quickly. So I actually already made my rice. I'm doing brown rice. So I just put it in, I just let it drain and I put it in my little sieve or colander, whatever. And that's all you'd have to do, and just set it aside. You can even do it while you're cooking all the rest of the stuff. It doesn't have to be cold. Don't rinse it or anything, just drain it. But yeah, so that does take a little bit longer. I always like to give you really quick cooking meals. But in order to get the best flavor and texture of the rice, it's really important to use like regular, not minute rice or anything like that. But it really doesn't take too long to cook. So again, if you are cooking this with me, if you're cooking this meal kit, do that first. Get a big pot to boil, 6 cups for a 2-person, 12 cups of water for a 4-person kit. It's a lot of water, but again, that water, all that water is going to kind of help that cooking process along and make it a little bit faster. So get that going right now. And really the rest of the kit goes relatively quickly. So I have my skillet preheating over a medium heat here. I've got all my stuff here ready to go. So the only thing really that I have to prep is my eggs. And so I'm just going to crack 2 eggs, and these you do have to provide for yourself. If you have eggs in the fridge, pop those out. 2 for a 2-person kit and 4 for a 4-person kit. Got a little bit of shell in there. If you ever get shell in there, just use part of this shell to scoop it out. Ta-da! And then we're just gonna whisk those together. So if you're doing a vegetarian kit or no protein option, then simply up the eggs in this. Add tofu, add mushrooms. If you have your own chicken at home, you can use that. Okay, so we just want to get a nice little whisk on that. And then we're going to start chopping the onions. So first what we're going to do is saute the onion and red bell pepper together in a little bit of oil. So again, because I have, if you do have the chicken option for the meal kit, I gave you some pre-cooked chicken. Rotisserie is great for this. I love recipes that I can use rotisserie chicken. They even have nowadays like shredded rotisserie chicken that's already cooked. It's fantastic. It's really nice for something like this, a quick weeknight meal. But if you were to use your own protein, say you got some chicken breast or whatever, simply cut it up into little pieces, and you would probably saute that first. I always do the protein first if I'm doing like a stir fry or a fried rice or something like that. So if you are cooking your own chicken or whatever, if you're doing tofu, saute that in the pan while you get everything else kind of chopped and ready to go. All right, I'm just doing a nice dice on my onion. Beautiful. So then we're gonna do a neutral oil in this. So we have a neutral oil to cook in, and then we have a little bit of sesame oil in our sauce cups. We have 2 sauce cups just because it couldn't all fit in one. And the sesame oil just gives it that flavor. So neutral oil, canola oil. We're gonna put half of this in the pan. We're gonna save the rest for when we do the eggs. So just half of that in there, just for the onion. Oops. Beautiful. You turn that baby up. We want a little sizzle going on. So I'm gonna do a nice small dice of the red bell pepper. So I do just some nice long thin strips. Oops. Still got the sticker on there. Come on. Oh goodness. Okay. Ooh man, this thing is juicy. Got me in the eye. Look out. Okay, so then I just like to kind of gather all of the pieces, the slices, and then cut it this way so I get a nice little dice on there. All right, now we're cooking. You want that nice little sizzle going on there. Beautiful. Okay, add that in. Lovely. Give it a little stir. So we're gonna let this go for a couple minutes because we wanna get a nice kind of brown on those onions. We want them to get nice and soft and fragrant. We want the red bell peppers to get a little bit soft. I'm not gonna cook this into oblivion because, again, my motto is anything that you can eat raw, you don't wanna cook too long because it'll just be mushy. So I like a little bit of texture in this. So we're not gonna cook this for too long. We're just gonna get a nice softened texture on the onions and a little brown going on, and we'll be right back. Okay, so while my onions and bell peppers cook, I'm actually going to prep the aromatic portion, so the garlic and the ginger. Ginger is this little knobby thing. I'm just gonna cut just like a little bit of the gnarly parts off, just slightly. You don't have to get all of the skin off. So if you're using a microplane, a grater, a zester, the nice part is usually all of the kind of fibrous pieces get caught up at the top here and don't actually come all the way through. So I like to use this for ginger just because I can get it really nice and small. It kind of turns into a paste almost. And it just is really nice because you don't really want to bite into a big ginger. Well, maybe you do, I don't know. You don't really want to bite into a ginger piece generally because it's pretty, pungent. So you want kind of like a nice little paste, or at least minced really, really small. And a grater works perfectly for that. So see all this kind of fibrous stuff kind of stays up top, and then I get all the ginger meat out of here at the bottom. So that's why these are really, really nice. And then I'm just gonna do my garlic. I don't know, I like to use a knife for garlic. You could probably use the zester too for that, or a garlic press, whatever you got. So I do wanna note, if you ever see garlic that, give this a little stir. We're looking really, really good, by the way. Onions are getting soft. I'm getting a little bit of color on there, which is what I want. You want a nice higher heat for this, so you get that color. If you ever notice when you sometimes have garlic that's been sitting a while, it will start to sprout kind of that green germ in the middle. That's what it's called. And it'll just kind of look like a sprout. Totally edible. It's not gone bad as long as it's not like rotten looking. It's totally fine. Sometimes people find that that little sprouty green piece can be a little bit more pungent, but once it's all like cooked together, you can't really tell. So anyway, all that to say, don't throw away your garlic just because you have one of those little green pieces in it. It's totally fine. It's just starting to sprout a little bit. So we're gonna give this a nice mince. We're actually gonna hold off on this one for a second, on the aromatics at least. We're gonna do the eggs next. So once you get a nice grate and mince on your ginger and garlic, we'll just kind of set this aside. And then we're gonna do our eggs. So what I like to do is kind of push over these guys into one side of the pan. Ooh, smells so good already. Okay, then we're gonna add the rest of the oil here. And then we'll add our eggs. Beautiful. And just kind of let them cook. Don't touch them. Let them go. Let them do their thing. So I totally forgot to get my green onions. So anyway, you'll have green onions in your kit. I just forgot. And so when we're doing the green onions, you're gonna chop like the white bottom parts off, and you're gonna toss them in with the ginger and garlic, and then you're gonna just save the green parts, the green tops, for garnishing at the end. All right, so what else we got? Everything's pretty much ready to go. At this point, it goes pretty fast once our eggs are getting cooked. So then I just kind of like to scramble them a little bit. Beautiful. So again, your temperature in your pan should be a nice sizzle. So you should be hearing a little nice sizzle, just a little really gentle sizzle and saute happening. So adjust your heat as necessary. Remember, when we add things to the pan as we're cooking, sometimes it's necessary to turn up the heat. Always adjust. Keep a listen. Keep a listen for that nice, consistent, steady sizzle. So I like to use kind of a wooden spatula here because I like to break up my eggs just like this. So once they're mostly cooked, just like this, we're just gonna toss everything together. Keep breaking those eggs up, and we're gonna add in the aromatics, ginger, garlic going in. Cook this for 30 to 45 seconds or so in here until it's nice and fragrant. Beautiful. Just breaking up those eggs, tossing everything together, get a good mix. Beautiful. So then we're going to have the rest of your bag is going to be, so in here was the red pepper and the ginger and garlic and green onion, and the rest of it is the peas and carrots, which is very typical and what you see in a fried rice. And I don't cook these very long, so peas are already ready to go, and carrots, I like the crunch of this, so it's not going to cook long in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour that right in. And the carrots get soft pretty quickly. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful that is already. You guys, gorgeous. Oh, and it smells so good. We haven't even added the sauce yet. Okay, so if you're doing chicken, you can add it now. So this is pre-cooked diced chicken. It's a lifesaver, isn't it? So wonderful. Toss that in. All right, now we're gonna add that cooked rice that we strained. And I'm doing brown rice today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get all that in there. Gotta use my hands. Spoon, that spatula just wasn't cutting it. Okay, add that in. Okay, we're gonna add in our pineapple tidbits and juice. All of that is right in here. You can give that a toss right now if you'd like to make sure everything is combined, and then we're gonna add the sauce. Make sure you have a big enough skillet for this. It makes a lot. Look at that. So good. Okay, sauce one, sauce two, doesn't matter. They're all going in. Doesn't matter which one you put in first. So we have 1 cup contains the soy sauce, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, rice vinegar, sesame oil. And then the other one, we have some sweet chili sauce and some teriyaki. I like the sweet chili because it has just a little bit of that warmth with the chilies, but it's not overpowering by any means, and then the teriyaki in there as well. So I like to do a little mixture of that. And then we're gonna just toss this. So this is really, really important. We wanna make sure that we're stirring this really well. We got a lot of stuff in the skillet. We want to distribute that sauce evenly so that we don't have any unflavored pockets of rice or anything in here. So just give it a really good stir. And the great part is the sauce really kind of just is absorbed by the rice then. Oh my gosh, smells so stinking good. So I like to let this go for just like a minute or two, just so that the sauce can get fully incorporated into everything. Look at that. Look at this huge skillet. And this is a 2-person kit, feeds a lot. So then most important, well not most important, but one of the important things, don't forget it, we want to add in half of a lemon's worth of juice into the skillet right before serving. This is really crucial for that acidic component. This is kind of the cherry on the top of all the flavor layerings that we've done throughout this recipe. We want to just add that right in and toss, and voila, you have pineapple fried rice. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, smells so, so good. And then serve the rest of your lime wedges like with each individual bowl if you want to. But folks, that is done. So aside from cooking your rice, which you do ahead of time, and in a pot, this is a one skillet dish, and then it all comes together pretty quickly. And you just add everything into the skillet, and boom, before you know it, it's all done. The great part is about this, the sauce too is really kind of, I feel like a lot of people have this in their pantry. If you don't have sweet chili sauce, simply add a little bit of maybe like chili garlic paste if you want some of that warmth, and just double the teriyaki sauce. But yeah, that's it. I really, really hope you enjoy this recipe. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'll see y'all next time.